Once you have RobotC set up, now we need to go ahead and start to write our program. Down in task main, you're going to notice that there's an open curly brace and a closed curly brace. Everything within our program, what we're going to be writing, needs to be between these two curly braces. If we write it outside of this curly brace, it's not going to be looked at as code. So let's say that we want to start a motor for 1 second, then stop the motor for 1 second. There's a number of different ways that we can do this. First off, along the left-hand side, we have our natural language library, and if we expand that, we can start to look at some of our code that we can draw out. So I want to start a motor. That's going to be underneath movement. So if I expand that, I can see there's start motor. And what I can do here is click and drag this right out to our program between the curly braces. Notice it says start motor. It says which port do we want it to come from and what's our speed. So I'm going to double click on motor port and I'm going to type in write motor. I'm going to tell it that I want it to go about half power, which in our case is 63. Remember that our speeds go anywhere from -127 to +127. All right. So we've started our write motor at half power, and we want it to run for a second. So we need to add in a delay in here. So we're going to wait. And remember, we can wait in seconds, or if I wanted to, I could wait in milliseconds. For this case, I'm just going to drag out my wait in seconds, double click on wait time, and type in 1. Hit enter, and now we need to stop the motor. Notice that this time I'm starting to type, and I can see my selections are there. If I double click on it, it'll pop up. So stop motor, which motor? The right motor. And notice that this time I don't put in a speed because it automatically knows that stopping the motor is going to be 0. If I chose to download and run this program right now, what would happen is the motor would start for a second and then immediately stop and terminate the program. Typically, we'd want to actually add in a wait 1 second here so that we let the program say start the motor for 1 second, then stop the motor for 1 second, and then terminate the program.